Outstanding. Yes. It's very Russian.
Yes, very un-Disney-like.
Yes.
Never got a chance to meet him. All I heard was a bad thing about him. Mama, I'm depending on you to tell me the truth. She looked at me in her head and she said, boy, Papa was a rolling stone. Where he laid his hat was home. But he left and was alone.
To the Brooklyn Knitfolk podcast. My name is Jaclyn. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as @Jaclyn Salem. I'm most active on Instagram, though. I love to post pictures of my life in New York City, where I live, 2 cats, you know, the whole crafting shebang. So welcome to the podcast. This is episode number 59, I think. I literally just checked this and now I can't even remember what the episode was that I looked up. My mom is currently visiting. Say hi, Mom.
Hello, everybody.
She's hanging out in my room while I film this episode, and then after I'm finished filming, we're going to go and have a lovely day of shopping in the city. It's been an amazing mother-daughter weekend, and she leaves tomorrow, and I'm trying not to think about it. So let's talk about crafting, shall we? So the first thing I want to show you is a finished object that you didn't even see because I cast it on after the previous episode. So I actually finished this really, really quickly because I was on a deadline for it. It's a Valentine's Day present for my Valentine, and it is this black beanie. It is knit in the yarn. Where's the bag? Where did I put it? There it is. It is knit in Woolfolk Tinned. I think that's how you say it, either tinned or tined, T-Y-N-D. And this is just the black colorway, number 15. Woolfolk yarn, if I could afford it, I would knit everything in Woolfolk yarn. It is so, so soft. I have a shawl that I knit, the Void Shawl by Melanie Berg, out of the Far base, which is their worsted weight. And it is just so soft, nothing compares. I'm in love. So it was so amazing to knit with this. The boy requested black, so black is what he got. So I figure if I'm gonna knit with black yarn, I mean, I like black clothes, I'll wear black clothes, but it was a bit of a challenge actually to knit with the black yarn, as people have mentioned, but it was my first time ever knitting with black yarn before. If I'm gonna knit with the black yarn, I'm going to knit with the Woolfolk. So I'm so excited about how it turned out. I'll try it on for you. It's a broken rib stitch, which is the same as this hat that I cast on this time last year actually. This is my most liked project on Ravelry for some reason. I hold a fingering weight yarn double. For this hat I cast on 120 stitches, but as you can see, this one has stretched quite a bit. So with this one, I cast on 116 stitches, and the fit is still quite slouchy, but I don't think it's gonna be like too big, hopefully. So it's a broken rib stitch. I combined 2 free patterns on Ravelry. All the details are in the project page if you care to take a look or want to knit one for yourself. I'm thinking about writing up my version of this pattern just so I can like have it in one place. Just so many people really liked this hat and probably will like this one, I'm assuming. So I might write up a pattern for you guys to use because everyone liked it so much. So I'm very excited with how it turned out. Just a good basic. It's so soft, so soft. And like I said, this is Woolfolk Tinned in colorway number 15. Their colors come, or their skeins come in 50-gram balls or 50-gram skeins. So I did buy 2 skeins to complete this project and had this much left over. I haven't weighed these cakes, but I'll weigh it and I'll put it on the screen to show you how much I had left over in case you're curious. Losing the balls. Okay, so that is my finished object. I can't wait to give it to him. He knows it's coming. He doesn't know what pattern I picked. I gave him a selection of a few to choose from, but I'm excited for him to wear it. So that's my finished object for this episode. Not that I have one every episode by any means, but the past 2 I have, so that's pretty cool. My works in progress, of course, my Nordiska sweater. And I split for the sleeves since my mom's been here. We've been having a very low-key mother-daughter time, so we've just kind of been doing a lot of hanging at my apartment, watching movies together, ordering in, knitting. For me at least. My mom's more of a reader. And yeah, so I split the sleeves on my Nordiska sweater. I tried it on. The fit is exactly as I had hoped for. So for the body, I'm knitting the medium size, and for the arms, I'm knitting the smaller size. So I kind of want a bit of a looser fit around the body, but then a tighter fit or a more fitted fit on the arms. Just because I think for my body shape, it just suits me better that if something is more flowy around the waist, that it needs to be more fitted in other areas so it's not too voluminous on me. I want this to be more of a fashion-y type of sweater, not like a big oversized comfy sweater, so it needs to be more fitted in other places to kind of make up for the volume in the body. So this is Sweet Sparrow yarns in the Morel colorway. I posted a photo of this on Instagram. You guys went crazy over this yarn, and I can definitely see why. It's just such a great warm brown. And it's on her tweed base, which is called House Wren. And the tweed is like a bunch of different natural color flecks in it. So it's got the black, the natural brown, some whiter tweed bits in it. I just love this color. I don't think this is my first time using this. I can't remember though. But yeah, and it has this cable raglan detail, which I believe I've showed on a previous episode. And yeah, now I'm just knitting stockinette in the round until I begin the color work. So this part right here that I'm on, however long I want to knit this, is what's going to add length to the sweater, because it's kind of it's a pretty cropped sweater by design. So whatever I'm adding now will be what adds the length, and then the bottom has the color work portion in it. And normally I don't go for color work sweaters, they're just not my personal style, but something about this one just really called to me. And so for the color work, I'm using this skein of Al Swearin Gin Sweet Sparrow yarns on her singles base. It's this like red-brown color. That'll be the main contrast color. And then for the color contrast pops, you only need one, but I'm going to try to find a way to use both of them. This is the Butterbeer colorway, and this is her Lichen colorway. So I really love how these play together. And to kind of see how it would work for the color work, to make sure there was enough contrast in the tone, I like to look at the yarns with the black and white filter on my camera on my phone. So this way I can see if there's enough contrast between the colors, because like you can tell that there's a lot of contrast between these colors in color, but in tone they're actually quite similar. So when I look at these through a black and white filter, they're very similar. So if these were next to each other in color work, you really wouldn't be able to see the contrast very easily. This one, on the other hand, much darker. So as long as this is kind of in between these two, like separate, like the color pops are kind of next to here and then the color pops are next to this in this way, it should be okay. But I kind of have to figure out a way to make that work. Sorry, there are like hairs all over my yarn right now. So that's going to be the color work, and there it is with Morel. See if I can hold all these up for you to see. Yes, I just love this color palette. So that's my Nordiska sweater, Nordiska. That's a pattern by Caitlin Hunter, Boylan Knitworks. She has tons of very beautiful color work and non-color work sweaters that you should definitely take a look at if you haven't already. And then I've cast on a new sweater project. So Gregoria Fibers, she is a natural dyer based out of Spain, I believe. She designs, or kind of just like knits sweaters for herself in her own yarns as samples, I'm guessing, but sometimes she designs for other people to knit. I think she has a total of 2 now, with a 3rd one coming out soon. There is this sweater she started knitting for herself called the Velvety Sweater. As soon as I saw her knitting it, I fell in love with it. I think the first time she posted pictures of it was sometime in November or December. And I was obsessed with this pattern, added my voice to the comments on Instagram saying like, please write up this pattern, I really want to knit it. And she recently released the pattern, very exciting, on sometime in the middle of January. And so I had this yarn in my stash that I bought at Rhinebeck, not this year, but the year before. This is O-Wool O-Wash Fingering in the... One second, let me get it. This is O-Wool O-Wash Fingering in the Pearly Muscle colorway, and it's this kind of like mauvey purple color. Super pretty. So I have a sweater's quantity of this, fingering weight yarn, and the sweater pattern is, I think it's a DK weight that it calls for, but the base that she uses is a DK that has mohair in it, so it's quite a fuzzy sweater. So I thought I could hold this double and find a mohair yarn to knit with this, so I'll be holding it triple. The problem is I couldn't decide for ages what color mohair to use. I was back and forth between doing something that was the same color as the Pearly Muscle colorway, or, believe it or not, this color, Lichen, from Julie's shop. I commissioned her to do the mohair skein for me. My idea was that, and you can't really tell here, I tried to swatch for some color play to see how it would work. I held the Lichen colorway double with the Pearly Muscle colorway. My idea was that it would look gray from far away, and then when you got up close to it, it would be almost like holographic looking, like this green haze on top of the purple yarn. But this isn't really giving an accurate representation of how I think it would look, because you can literally see the green mixed in with the purple. So I kind of chickened out on doing that. I still think that would be really cool, so maybe I'll test this theory out with a hat or something smaller. But I decided to go for the Sugar Plum Fairy colorway, which I will show you. This is Julie's yarn on her mohair base. I believe the base is called Feather, and it's a version of her Sugar Plum Fairy colorway. I had her dye that colorway without, just the base color without the speckling in it, because I wanted it to be as solid as possible so that you wouldn't see speckling in the sweater, because my yarn is already solid. So really, when you add mohair to a project, this is my first time adding mohair to a project, but from what I've gathered from other people who have used it, it sort of tends to tone the whole sweater overall. So if whatever you're holding it double with a mohair kind of adds like that tone from the mohair color overall to the sweater. So I've cast on. This is my third time's the charm, hopefully, casting on this sweater, because I've cast on this bottom portion 3 times, the rib, and it's because I just kept changing my mind about how I wanted it to be. So the pattern actually calls for the rib knit in the round, but I decided I wanted a split hem rib, so I ripped it out for the 3rd time after I'd already ripped it out a first time to do that. So I'm knitting this on size 10 needles, which is what the pattern calls for, and I'm holding it triple, 2 yarns of the wool O-wash fingering, and then 1 yarn strand of Julie's Feather base, which is the mohair silk blend. And this is kind of what it's looking like so far. So fuzzy. It's kind of not coming off on camera just how fuzzy it is. There, you can kind of see a little bit there, but it's very fuzzy in person, and I'm loving it. I will say I like the look of it. The knitting experience is like kind of weird. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever knit with mohair before, and it makes my palms sweat. Like I'm not a sweaty palms kind of person, but the mohair is so warm, I guess, in my hand that it's like making my palms sweat as I knit with it, which is like kind of gross. But does anybody else have this happen to them when they knit with mohair? Is it just me? So yes, it's a bottom up sweater, knit in the round. I knit the 2 rib pieces separately and then join them together in the round now, which is what I started. And this is a broken rib stitch pattern, which is so funny because I've been posting about on Instagram, of course, my broken rib hat that I've been knitting and how I would love to have a sweater knit in this broken rib stitch pattern, and then lo and behold, I figured the Velvety Sweater was broken rib. It looked like it from the pictures, but the gauge is so different. This one's so loose and big, chunky, compared to the fingering weight that I just wasn't for sure. But now I'm excited because I will have this broken rib sweater in my wardrobe, and I just love the color. I think it's going to be so versatile. So I'm knitting the size 2. There's 5 sizes in total, and it's meant to have about 3.5 inches of positive ease. When all is said and done, mine will have 4 inches of positive ease, although it looks quite small on the needles right here, maybe just because it's the rib. So I'm hoping maybe once I block it pretty aggressively that will make this loosen up and not be so like form-fitting on my body, but we'll see. So yeah, the experience of knitting this is so much fun with the mohair. The first time, like I said, I've ever used mohair in a project. It is quite fun. Not necessarily necessary, but I love the fuzzy texture it's giving. This is a twisted rib on the bottom here, and then the broken rib stitch for the body. So I'm very excited about that. Those are my only kind of active knitting projects right now that I've been working on. Of course, I have others that you've seen on previous episodes. Always have a pair of socks going, for example. But these are my active projects at the moment. So that's really all the knitting I have to show you. I do have one sewing project that I started, but I'm like kind of in the middle of it right now. I haven't cut it yet. So it started when I saw, I'll put in a picture of the pattern here. It's called the La Boheme skirt by Vanessa something. I'm sorry, I'll put it on the screen so you can see. I fell in love with the skirt the moment I saw it on Instagram. However, I figured out after purchasing it that it's only available in French. Luckily, the illustrations are really, really clear. Here's some of them, for example. So the illustrations are super, super clear. So I really think I can figure it out without much trouble, and then Google Translate can help along the way. Several of you have already offered via Instagram DMs to help me if I need it, so thank you so much. I think I will be fine, but if I need it, I will definitely call upon you. I really wanted to make this skirt in red. So this is fabric I ordered from fabric.com, and normally I'm really against ordering fabric online because the colors are never true to what they end up being in real life, and this was honestly no exception. This red is like too corally, if that makes sense. It's okay, it will be fine, but what I really wanted to do was buy a rayon challis, the fabric type that this is, because it's so drapey and lightweight, and there's honestly not that many options in the garment district for rayon challis fabrics that I can find. So I ordered it online. The fabric itself is really nice and drapey. It's just exactly what I want fabric-wise, but the color is a little bit off. I know that sounds really picky, but when you make your own clothes, you're allowed to be picky about stuff like that, in my opinion. I'm still gonna make it, and I'm sure it will still be great. It's just definitely more of like a summertime skirt and not like a red that I usually go for. I think I was kind of hoping it was gonna be like my backpack red, like a deeper, darker red, like a cherry red, and this is more, like I said, airing in like the coral family. I'm sure it's blowing it out a ton because it's just a giant swath of red fabric, but the fabric itself is really nice. So I've cut out my pieces, and I'm stalling a little bit because I'm hemming and hawing over what size to cut. Here's the ruffle that's on the bottom of the skirt. Isn't this such a cool pattern piece? I just wanted to show that to you. The size chart is putting me in the second to the largest size, which is fine. I have no qualms about the size or anything. It's more that I am not typically in that size range in a pattern, and so I'm a little bit nervous to cut that and then it be too big because it's a wrap skirt, so the wrap is going to be like really far around my body. I've heard from several people who said that usually a wrap skirt should be 1.5 times your waist. And when I measured the waist, it's more than that by like 4 or 5 inches. So that's quite a lot. So I'm kind of hesitant. I think what I'm going to do is just trust the pattern, follow the pattern. Maybe when I add the waistband to it, it will like make it a little bit smaller there. I don't know, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. And originally, I was going to add this bodice to it right here. It's kind of like a lower scoop. It's not the back like this. The back is just plain. It's just straight across and it has a zip up the back. But I don't think that's going to work for this wrap dress because it's a wrap dress. It like opens up, like how would I get it on? So I didn't really consider this when I really wanted to add this bodice to it. So I think I'll just make it the skirt and then maybe make this a separate, I don't know, like I did for my birthday, which is what I purchased this pattern for originally. So maybe I'll make it a separate and add like a bodysuit bottom to it like I did with my birthday outfit. But yeah, that's kind of the idea for now. And I really just want a red dress or a red skirt, you know, some big red item. So this is going to be really beautiful and flowy. It's going to be lovely to wear. So this is Simplicity 8635. I've already made this pattern. I love how this turned out. It was for my birthday outfit for my 30th birthday. And then the skirt pattern is the La Boheme skirt, and I'll make sure I put all the info on the screen and in the down bar below too, so you can find that. So next up, I just had a few stash acquisitions that I wanted to share with you, a few yarny things. The first one is this skein from Nomadic Yarns. I lost the tag, but it's Nomadic Yarns. And this is the Honey Bear colorway. Julie of Sweet Sparrow Yarns and I have been obsessed with this color since we saw it come out. I just love the colors that are in this. It has like a mustard color, a mint, a blush, and then a dark brown. and it just looks so pretty knit up. Ashley of Nomadic Yarns dyes mostly self-striping yarns, which is what this is, so I'm really excited to cast this on. It's been a long time since I've cast on a self-striping yarn, actually, and I have lots of those socks in my hand knit socks collection just because they're so addictive to knit. So, Nomadic Yarns. And then I ordered this on a impulse whim purchase, but I can never resist Knox yarns. She has this minis collection, and I think it was like a Valentine's Day inspired collection. It's called Head Over Heels, and it's on her Mars sock base, which is a 75-25 merino nylon, and the colors are just beautiful. There's this like caramel color, this deep red, this speckled peach, this more orchid purpley color, mauvish, and then this white that has swaths of these kind of light blush parts, and then speckles of black, or is it navy? I think it's black. I just love how these look together. I'm not sure what this is going to be. I'm not sure if it's going to go in my granny stripe. I don't know, but they were really pretty and I had to have them. So she was kind enough to send me this extra skein of yarn on her new mohair sock base. So it's called her Flora sock, and it's 20% mohair, 55% superwash merino, and 25% nylon. And you can see it's kind of got this really lovely mohair fuzz base on it. And it's this gorgeous mint colorway with amazing speckles, as Danielle always does in these multicolor speckles. So we've got a lot of yellow, some purple speckles, some green ones in there. This is really pretty. So I think I'm actually going to, she said I can use it for whatever I want, giveaways included, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do a giveaway. So stay tuned for that. I'll probably do it over on Instagram just because that's the easiest place for me to host giveaways. And the prompt, as always, for any of my giveaways is going to be name one good thing that's happened to you in the past 24 hours. It's just like such an uplifting prompt. I love reading about it, and I think it's just good to stop and take stock of the good things happening in our life, because sometimes we're just moving so fast that we forget. So this will be a giveaway, and the colorway is called Satinum, Sanutum, S-A-N-U-T-U-M, Sanutum. There you go. So pretty. Love this mint. This reminds me of Candace immediately from Pin Feathers and Pearls. I bet she probably already has this colorway. So yeah, those are my stash acquisitions. Oh, and a really important one. So Julie, Sweet Sparrow Yarns, my BFF, for part of my Christmas present, got me a Stanwood ball winder. I've had a Knitpicks one since I started knitting. I've actually had to have them replace it once. Knitpicks has great customer service. I will give them that. They replaced it, no questions asked, for free when my other one broke. And it's just like so loud and just slow to knit, or slow to wind things with, and it's like already making these like kind of yarns, rings of Saturn cakes that I like to call them, and the insides collapse really easily. It's a whole process. So Julie got me a Stanwood ball winder for Christmas and brought that over to me this weekend because it's kind of a heavier thing, so we wanted to exchange it when she knew she was coming directly here, and it is amazing. It's so heavy duty and so nice. Like I said, the Knitpicks one was totally fine. It's a great starter, yarn winder, but now that I'm kind of like definitely a capital K knitter, I thought it was fun to have this really great upgrade. So I thank Julie so much for getting that for me for Christmas. I absolutely love it. My Swift is also from Knitpicks, but I have no problems with that whatsoever. I love the Swift, so I would definitely recommend that one. But I love my new Stanwood ball winder. I'm so excited about it. So that's my other major stash acquisition. And that's it for the crafty content of the podcast. I know there's really not a whole lot that I had to talk and share about, but I'm trying to just be more regular in general about connecting with you guys and showing you what I'm making. So I figured anything that I've been making you'd want to see anyway. So this has been a shorter episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys are having a lovely, crafty couple of weeks, and until the next time I see you, bye!